Hey you guys, welcome to day 4 of Hot Topics and Cool Drinks. I'm your host, Antoinette Wolf, a former corporate executive turned philanthropist, entrepreneur, licensed real estate agent, writer, and mother. And I'm grateful that you're here with me tonight because tonight's conversation could change how you see success, confidence, and connection. Tonight's theme is high functioning low self esteem, spotting the red flags in people who appear confident. We're covering how parents can teach teens how to recognize fake confidence online and offline. 10 key traits of high functioning low self esteem with examples, expert backed insights on how these behaviors form, a full breakdown of Teaching White Supremacy by Donald Yakovin, and how I used AI to edit both of my books, She Shines Anyway and Do Your Job, in record time. Why I work exclusively with former corporate professionals now building their own legacies, and of course, 2 original poems from my book, She Shines Anyway. So before we get started, first of all, let's go ahead and have a sip of my cool drink that I'm drinking tonight, which is some ginger beer that I got from Aldi's. Let me show you the bottle. It's delicious. It's a little sweeter than most of them. And when I say most of them, I mean and I mean exactly that, most of them. This one's a little bit sweeter than what I'm used to, but it's delicious. Maybe because it's a little sweeter. Anyway, so let's start tonight also with one of the poems from the book She Shines Anyway that I've been reading from all week. This is She Shines Anyway, 76 Poems for the Woman Who Refuses to Dim Her Light. And you can find this book on Amazon as well as my website, BWellnessCenter.shop. And this poem that I'm reading tonight, that I'm starting with, is called Made of Sun, Not Smoke. I don't do drama. I don't swirl in confusion. I don't speak in circles or thrive on illusion. I'm not smoke, I'm sun. I shine straight through. I don't hide in shadows or trade truth for cool. I've met women who loved the chaos, who mistook mystery for death, who thought setting fires made them powerful, not a mess. But I was built to warm, not burn, to rise, not disappear, to light the way, not fog the mirror. So if you're drawn to me, know this. You're stepping into light, not fog. I'm made of sun, not smoke. Okay, did you guys like that? I hope so. If you did, you know where to find it. All right. Let's go ahead and step into our first topic tonight. Okay, high functioning, low self-esteem. Let's break this down. This isn't about people who are clearly insecure. This is about the ones who look polished, sound successful, and seem confident, but deep down, their self-worth is held together by tape and approval. And here's why this matters right now. Let me share with you why. Because it's bullying, especially the quiet, manipulative kind, is destroying our young people's confidence. Because college students and high school teens are experiencing a mental health crisis that's worsening every year, because social media is the main stage where this behavior actually plays out. And because if we don't teach our children how to recognize fake confidence and emotional manipulation, they will start to think that they're the problem when it's actually the other person projecting their own low self-worth. This is about arming our kids with awareness so that they can say that person isn't confident, they're actually hurting, and I'm not to internalize their behavior. So this is what some experts have to say. These are expert-backed insights on how these behaviors form. So according to licensed psychologists and emotional development researchers like Dr. Kristen Neff, who is the author of Self-Compassion, she explains that people raised with conditional love, where approval was earned through achievement, often become adults who seek validation to feel worthy. Dr. Ramani Durvasula, a clinical psychologist and narcissism expert, notes that emotionally unavailable caregivers can raise children who appear competent but fear emotional closeness. Dr. Lisa Damore, who's a psychologist and author of Under Pressure, points to high achieving environments where girls are praised for being strong but not supported when they express vulnerability. Dr. Gabor Mate, she's a trauma specialist and author of The Myth of Normal, discusses how cultural conditioning and suppressed emotional pain can manifest as high-functioning personas that mask deep self-doubt. And then Dr. Brené Brown, researcher and author of The Gifts of Imperfection, states that perfectionism is not about striving for excellence, but rather a shield to avoid shame and judgment. The result? People look high functioning on paper, but are deeply fragile behind the image. Now, here are 10 signs and real world examples. I'm going to take a sip first, but let me just share with you, this is in fact a big deal because like I said yesterday, I'm back in school, and just tonight I received an email, and it's Sunday, but tonight we received emails that we had to fill out asking if we're noticing anything on social media or on campus about, someone's mental health, not one particular person, but how are we feeling? Are we feeling any type of pressures or insecurities or bullying taking place on campus or online? So this is definitely a crisis. This isn't an isolated issue at all. Let me take a quick sip. This is not a little isolated issue at all. So anyway, here are 10 signs and real world examples. Number 1, they interrupt often but call it passion. They dominate conversations to mask insecurity. It's not confidence, it's control. Number 2, they overcommit to avoid being alone. Busyness is a distraction. Stillness forces them to sit with self-worth that they haven't built. Number 3, they constantly seek praise but deflect genuine compliments. So for example, tell me I'm amazing energy, followed up by, oh no, I'm nothing. This is validation addiction, not humility. Number 4, they always need a villain, whether it's an ex, a coworker, or a family member. There's always someone they're blaming. High functioning, low self-esteem avoids accountability. Number 5, they confuse competition with connection. They can't celebrate others without measuring themselves against them. Number 6, they showcase success but hide struggle. They curate life. Their curated life is a defense mechanism. You'll see the trophies, not the therapy. Number 7, they joke at others' expense and call it honesty. Masking cruelty as real talk or just being honest is a way to project their inner frustration. Number 8, they self-sabotage right before breakthroughs. Just when the opportunity arrives, they delay, deflect, or disappear. Fear of unworthiness overrides their potential. Number 9, they're overly loyal to broken relationships. Staying in toxic environments gives them a role. The fixer, the matriarch, the hero. It's identity, not love. And number 10, they label confident women as arrogant because your groundedness threatens their performance. You being whole exposes their internal noise. Okay? So let's take another sip, and then I'm going to move on to the next topic. So the next topic is our wellness tip for the night. Because each night we've been talking about menopause, which usually starts anywhere between 35 to 55 years old for women. And I'm in that range. And so, we're discussing it. So the menopause wellness tip for the night is, before you get into tonight's feature book, Here's a few reminders for those of us navigating menopause. So let's stay cool and hydrated. Emotional shifts can cause sudden temperature changes, night sweats. Keep a water bottle nearby, wear breathable fabrics, and consider chilled herbal teas like peppermint or raspberry leaf to regulate body temperature. Mind your magnesium. If you're feeling anxious, irritable, or dealing with muscle cramps, try incorporating magnesium-rich foods like spinach, almonds, or avocados, or talk to your provider about a gentle supplement. Then, here's something to support our sleep. So, menopause often disrupts rest. Create a bedtime wind down routine. Keep screens out of the bedroom and try natural aids like tart cherry juice or lavender essential oil to encourage better sleep cycles. This season of life isn't just about surviving, you guys. It's about thriving with grace, strength, and intentional care. Okay? So try some of those things, or some of the things that I've mentioned this week, like the rosemary or the mint water. And make sure you guys are getting back with me. Keep notes in the comment section. Make notes in the comment section. Okay, so tonight's featured book is Teaching White Supremacy by Donald Yakovin. And let's go ahead and take this deep dive, okay? This is the book right here. And I'm going to keep it right here. So this is the book that we're talking about. I'm actually going to hold it. So who is this guy, Donald Yakovin? He is a white American scholar, originally from New England, with a long-standing career in the study of race, history, and American identity. He is a senior research associate at the Hutchins Center for African and African American Research at Harvard University, and the co-editor of the landmark volume of the African Americans, Many Rivers to Cross, with Henry Louis Gates Jr. What compelled him to write this book was Yakovin was conducting research for a completely different project when he stumbled upon a textbook, and then many more textbooks used in the classrooms for generations that glorified slavery, erased Black achievement, and romanticized white colonial dominance. He realized that this wasn't an oversight, it was a pattern, a system, and he felt an obligation as a white academic with institutional access to document it, expose it, and create a resource that parents and educators could use to dismantle those false narratives. Now, what this book exposes is that public school textbooks from the 19th century to the 21st consistently minimized the brutality of slavery. They framed slaveholders as moral and honorable. They described Black people as unintelligent, passive, or inferior, omitted resistance movements, rebellions, and Black leadership, elevated the Confederacy as noble rather than treacherous. Even northern states and liberal cities participated in and perpetrated this whitewash curriculum. That textbook publishers prioritize profit over truth, which catered to racist school boards to keep contracts. Now, how this book is structured is side-by-side comparisons of real textbook pages versus historical truth. A breakdown by decade showing how narratives were manipulated to support white dominance. Data on how textbooks shaped national identity and racial perception. A call to action for educators, parents, and policymakers to reevaluate what we allowed our children to be taught. This is a book that doesn't just educate, it unveils. It makes it impossible to say we didn't know. And if you're a parent raising children in private school, charter school, or public school, this book shows you what they aren't being taught and why. It is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and you know I'm selling it, don't you? At BWellnessCenter.shop. Okay, so get you a copy. Now, what used to take weeks. Okay, so first of all, let me take a sip. Because I know that was some heavy stuff, right? So let's take a little breath with it. Okay, that was a little heavy. But I wanted to share something with you guys. So, I've been talking about some benefits of AI for us entrepreneurs. And one of the things that I mentioned last night is that I've been using it a lot more to help me in the office. Well, I used AI to help me edit both my books, She Shines Anyway and Do Your Job, A Parent's Manifesto to Privacy, Protection, and Power. And what used to take weeks or even a full month of revisions took me less than 1 hour with AI tools that helped me refine the tone, correct structure, and tighten clarity. Writers, creators, and corporate professionals, this is not cutting corners. I just want to be clear about this. This is how strategy meets storytelling. And yes, both of those books, I've been reading this one, She Shines Anyway, but you also know the one, Do Your Job, A Parent's Manifesto to Protection, Privacy, and Power. This is the paperback, and then this is the hardback. And they are like textbooks. These are actually workbooks for parents. And I'm not going to get back into what they're about, but both of these books are actually available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and BWellnessCenter.shop. Okay? Now, I want to share with you that if you are a corporate executive, active or retired, I can help you transition into entrepreneurship without wasting time, energy, or legacy. I only work with people who've led teams, make big decisions, and are ready to lead their own vision. Now, if that's you, visit BWellnessCenter.shop to learn a little bit more, okay? I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to call it a joke break so that I can have a sip of this, but also I want to share a joke that I wrote. And I've been practicing writing jokes lately while preparing these for the evening. You ever notice how the people with humble in their bio never let you forget it? I'm just a humble servant of God, 4-time CEO, 2 times TED speaker, and a part-time astronaut. Ma'am, what part of that is humble again? You get it? They're always saying, oh, I'm so humble, but I do this, I do that. Okay, never mind. It was just a joke. Let me know if you think these jokes are funny. Are you guys leaving comments in the comments section on Instagram or YouTube? Are you even subscribed to YouTube or Instagram? Make sure you're following me at Wolf Vibrations on Instagram and on YouTube. Now, let's close tonight. We're going to go ahead and close. Let's close tonight with one last poem for the evening from the book, She Shines Anyway, 76 Poems for the Woman That Refuses to Dim Her Light. And let's see, which one is this? This one is called, let's see here, You Can't Sit With Me. Okay. This seat, it came with receipts, earned in silence, paid for in tears, reinforced with boundaries I bled years to build. I'm not mean, I'm not being mindful. I've seen what happens when I open my space to the wrong energy. You want the seat, but not the work. You want the vibe, but not the healing it took. I've outgrown pretending. The loyalty is owed. The kindness means access, that everyone deserves a row. You can love people from a distance. You can wish them well quietly, but not everyone gets a front row to your becoming. So no. Okay. So yeah, that poem, like all the other ones I've been reading, came from the book, She Shines Anyway, 76 Poems for the Woman That Refuses to Dim Her Light, that can be found on Amazon or my website, BWellness.shop. So a final reminder, tonight's featured book was Teaching White Supremacy by Donald Yakovin. Do Your Job, A Parent's Manifesto to Privacy, Protection, and Power. She Shines Anyway. All available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or BWellnessCenter.shop. You know I prefer that you come to me, BWellnessCenter.shop. And remember, you can watch this entire month-long series every night in August at 8:15 on both Instagram and YouTube at Wolf Vibrations. Thank you guys for being here. Let's have a sip before we end this. Thank you for being here, having some drinks with me. Okay. This is day 4 of Hot Topics and Cool Drinks. I'll see you tomorrow for day 5. Until then, stay observant and stay radiant. And remember, real confidence never competes. Okay? Anyway, I love you guys. Have a great one. Mwah. See ya.